Alright, so this isn't going to be a Hollywood production video, but it's going to get the point across. So I'm going to try to make an all-in-one video that goes over the configuration and usage of the NexGenEFI display itself. Each layout's going to have 5 user configurable gauges, either various locations or on the bottom like this one. This is the Mustang layout, and 2 main gauges that you'll see on every single one. This is RPM and speedometer. Now, this looks like there's just 3 gauges, but it's actually a total of 5. There's 1 full gauge and 2 half gauges, so this is where I get the total of 5. You're also going to see warning lights here, idiot lights, whatever you want to call it, and they'll illuminate based on settings that you have in your configuration screen. So let's say, for example, the battery light gets illuminated. You can press that button, you can touch it, and what's going to happen is there's going to be a value that pops up right above it. It's going to stay up there for about 10 seconds before it goes away. So it'll basically let you know at that time when you pressed it, the voltage of that battery that's in your vehicle. And the same goes for the rest of these warning lights. So in the configuration screen itself, top left-hand corner, this basically shows what data that you can select from your fuel injection system. So if you were to press the button and select, for example, air fuel ratio, it'll pop it up into the box, and that's what's going to be in gauge 1. Now, the data points that you see here, it all depends on your fuel injection system. Not every manufacturer is as open. I guess we can say that. They're not as open as other fuel injection manufacturers, so they don't let me extract the complete data set. So what I can display and what I can extract, I'll put the most popular ones here. But if you want something special and it's in the data stream, just get a hold of me and I'll update the code and I'll make sure that you have the data that you need. As of right now, December the 3rd, I only have 4 layouts. My graphics designer is working on additional layouts, so I want to have at least 7 that I give to you guys, but you may end up buying this and it'll only have 5 layouts at the time or 4. But never fear, they're in design, and I should have at least by the end of December the final 3. That way you'll have a total of 7 for the display. And if you're a creative individual or you see something on another vehicle or on the internet, either take a picture of that if it's a vehicle, or send me that image, and I'll commission my graphics designer to implement something like that on this display, and then I'll send it to you. So if you find something that I think it's very attractive and other people will like it, I'll just have them create it. Now, there are 2 checkboxes next to oil temp and one is next to oil pressure. If for some reason some people don't have an oil temp gauge, and some people, they may have an oil pressure gauge, but it's not hooked up to their ECU. It's just, an old school physical gauge itself. These 2 buttons here enable and disable it. So right now, as you can see, oil temp is not checked. So you're not going to have the warning light for oil temp come on, but oil pressure is. So if you were to uncheck oil pressure, then the warning light that's on the layout screen will not be illuminated. Now, what else do we got here? So the web server itself, if you were to press the button, it's going to enable the web server on the NexLink Pro ECU interface. That is what you're going to connect to wirelessly, and the instructions on how to connect and how to upload, they're on the website. The debug screen, if you were to enable this, it will basically unhide a debug button, and unless you have specific firmware I've given to you, it's not really going to show anything. It'll just take you to another screen with a box on it, and it's pretty much all that's going to be on there. So if you press it, not a big deal. Just hit cancel, and it'll reboot the whole screen. Bottom right-hand corner, I have the software version, and this software version refers to the version of the software on the NexLink Pro ECU interface. So whenever you go to the website and you download a firmware update for the NexLink Pro ECU interface, make sure that what's on the website, for example, this is 1.05, that version number is shown at the bottom here. Because if you have something different, then the update didn't work. And then also the firmware version. Let's just say you just clicked the wrong link and you downloaded FuelTech firmware. And if it says FuelTech here, but you're running Haltech, well, then you know it's not going to work. So then just go back to the website and re-download it and re-upload it to the NexLink Pro ECU interface. Speed, this is a VSS. This is configured for vehicle speed sensor. That means that it's going to be extracting the vehicle speed from the ECU. If you press it, it'll basically get it from GPS, and that's via the Q-Stars external GPS receiver. TPMS, this is for specific BLE TPMS sensors that I'm going to be selling on the NexGenEFI website. They're, if you look, once I put them on the website, you'll see them elsewhere, but since I buy in bulk, I'll be able to even sell it less than Amazon does. So I would hold off if you're going to want to use those TPMS sensors. So the fuel sender config, this is what I wanted to explain. So there's a whole bunch of different fuel sending units, and what you're going to want to do is basically hook up the one wire sending from the sending unit to the NexLink Pro ECU interface. There's a specific pin on there that you basically put the wire in and you screw it down, and that's where it's going to go. Now, whenever you're close to empty, let's just say you're at quarter tank, you're going to want to basically go to the gas station, and before you turn your car off, you're going to want to hit the S button. And what that's going to do is it's going to store a value, a resistance value. It's internally computed in this screen and display it to you. Then what you're going to want to do is hit the save button. And once you hit the save button, what's going to end up happening is it's going to tell you to wait, and it's going to reset the NexLink Pro ECU interface and also the display. Now, what you're going to end up seeing is that value that we were just discussing, that's going to show up right here in this box. Now, once you fill up and you're ready to go, before you head out, basically hit the S button here, and it's going to store another value. And what these two values are, they represent the empty and full, basically, range of your fuel sending unit. This middle one, I have it here. I'm storing it, but I'm not doing any interpolation based on it. I'm hoping that by using these two values, I can basically get an accurate, or as accurate as your sending unit sends me, the value of the level of fuel that you have in your fuel tank. Now, if something were to go wrong and you're stuck at the NexGenEFI splash screen, top left-hand corner area, if you were to press that, what's going to happen is it's going to take you straight to the screen. And what I would do is I would hit the delete config, and what that's going to do is it's going to reset all of your values. And it's going to take you straight back to the configuration screen, and you're going to have to reconfigure your gauges and your layout, along with any values that you had here. But it'll basically get it to where, if something happened and you had to, something got scrambled, you can always come back to here and reset it back to factory settings. If there's any issues, just, of course, email support@nexgenefi.com. That's also on the website, and I will help you out.